Hey guys, so a lot of you like to ask me on my Ask FM page about weapons that you get from nightfalls and packages, mainly in the form of, is this good, or should I level this? I'll tell you that if you're ever in a situation where you can level a weapon, as in you have nothing else to level, just level it up and try it out to see if you like it. But, for the rest of you, you typically just want to know if the bonuses that you got on a weapon are good. Today, I will be discussing legendary weapons that you get randomly from packages or nightfalls or engrams or anything like that, and I'll be referencing DestinyDB.com for most of these guides, if not all of them. What I mean by that is only certain bonuses can come in certain slots on a weapon, and I'm using DestinyDB.com as a reference for which bonuses can go where and which bonuses can spawn on a weapon that is randomly generated. We're going to start with auto rifles and pulse rifles today, and I'll eventually cover all of the weapons over the next week or so, although a lot of the rankings here can transfer to other weapon classes to a degree. I'll also try to refrain from talking about weapon classes themselves and just judge weapons on their own merit combined with their bonuses, but, we all kind of know right now that auto rifles are not exactly in a great spot in PvE, or really kind of PvP, and high rate of fire pulse rifles are not exactly great for PvE right now. We're going to start with auto rifles, and we'll be skipping over the first column because they don't usually give a tremendous stat increase, and the scopes that they give are going to be personal preference for the most part. Nothing is a game changer enough to drive whether or not you should use the weapon based on that first column. The first slot in the weapon can give one of the following: spray and play, reactive reload, counterbalance, cascade, persistence, and hip fire. The second slot can give glass half full, Rangefinder, Grenadier, crowd control, and third eye. The absolute best two main bonuses among the current possibilities for bonuses that you can get per slot are counterbalance and crowd control for PvE, and counterbalance and probably third eye for PvP, although there's some flexibility there. Counterbalance is great overall, both PvE and PvP, giving a flat stability upgrade to your weapon. It makes you better at hitting stuff. The better you are at hitting stuff, the faster you kill. Nothing not to like about it. Crowd control is as good as it gets for PvE. After a kill, you gain 15% increased damage for 3 seconds. The faster you can chain kills together, the longer you can keep this bonus active. There is nothing not to like about this bonus either for PvE. It's one of the only bonuses that can increase your damage for a long period of time as long as you can keep chaining kills. Third eye for PvP is useful, but among the bonuses available in that slot, glass half full, rangefinder, grenadier, crowd control, I think third eye is the least worst of the options. In PvP, it's nice when capping points in control to be ready for anyone trying to attack you, and has good use in 3v3 as well, where things are a little more intimate. However, as you become more comfortable with the game itself, the less third eye is useful. A lot of players have already acclimated to not having their radar while aiming by now, but it's probably the best option amongst the one that I listed earlier for PvP. For the second column of upgrades, getting Field Scout, Perfect Balance, or Fitted Stock are going to be among the best options. Stuff like Snapshot and Single Point Sling I don't think really do enough. Skip rounds are pretty bad, but high caliber rounds aren't that bad for PvE. I think Persistence is a fine replacement for Counterbalance if you get the other two good bonuses. Like if you were to get Persistence, Field Scout, and Crowd Control, I think that would be a keeper. Spray and play would be next in the list of upgrades. It does provide a reload speed bonus, but if you're the kind of person who likes to reload after every kill, you'll never utilize this bonus. It does have synergy with glass half full, but we'll talk about that bonus in a minute. Then we have stuff like reactive reload, cascade, and hip fire, which are all pretty bad. Reactive reload does provide a damage bonus, but you're not always going to be shooting your weapon immediately after a reload. Cascade can have some use in the raid, since Thrall are so punchable, but it's just not enough. There's a reason you don't see any Blink auto rifle users in Crucible either. Hipfire is just not good. There are rarely times you want to be hip-firing an auto rifle willingly, and when you are hip-firing, it'll probably be because something is right in your face, so you probably won't really need the bonus. As for the second bonus in PvE, crowd control is far and away the best option. Glass half full isn't a big damage increase. It does have synergy with spray and play, but once again, if you're the kind of person who reloads often, you're not going to get the maximum benefit. Even then, the ramp up isn't very significant, only going up to 6% extra damage by the last bullet, but at the end of the day, it is a damage increase. Rangefinder is one of those bonuses where we can't really tell exactly how much it does because a lot of the weapons have pretty adequate range already, especially in PvE. I mean, we know what it does. It increases the distance at which your bullets do full damage by about 20%. But in general, you're rarely in a scenario where you're not already dealing full damage while aiming down the sights. Grenadier is a bonus that I feel gets way too much flack from the community in general. It's not amazing, but I don't think it's as terrible as everyone says it is. It can give you frequent grenade throws, and at the very least can ensure that you always have a grenade anytime you'll actually need one. Third Eye is something that isn't as important in PvE as it is in PvP. I'd say as long as you have Counterbalance on the weapon, you're off to a pretty good start, and if you have 2 of the 3 bonuses that are considered good, then it is, at the very least, worth considering. For example, I have a Vanquisher with Counterbalance, Perfect Balance, and Glass Half Full. That is a weapon worth considering, and is why I've hung on to it as a just-in-case weapon. These rankings pretty much apply to both slow-firing and bullet hose auto rifles. I really wouldn't change it up too much. Persistence is a great option for bullet hoses. You'll probably want to hope for a lot of the stability bonuses. I also feel like spray and play might not be too bad on a bullet hose, mainly because bullet hose weapons are the kind of weapons where you just want to mash down on the trigger and not stop shooting until you're out of bullets, which would make Glass Half Full viable on that as well. Now, there are plenty of other bonuses out there, but I don't think they spawn randomly on legendary weapons, granted from activities like Nightfall and Engrams, etc. You may reference things like Atheon's Epilogue or Abyss Defiant, to which I would say, those weapons don't come with random bonuses and were designed very specifically. Some bonuses that don't spawn on legendary auto rifles might spawn on rare auto rifles like Focused Fire, Take a Knee, Feeding Frenzy, but we're not looking at rare weapons since they are replaced so quickly. We're going to move now to pulse rifles since they are in almost the same boat as auto rifles. We'll skip the first column just like we did with auto rifles for pretty much the same reasons. The first bonus has the possibility of giving you one of the following: Head Seeker, Full Auto, Feeding Frenzy, Rangefinder, Spray and Play, and Secret Round. The second bonus has the possibility of giving you Counterbalance, Glass Half Full, Reactive Reload, Grenadier, and Third Eye. Basically the same as auto rifles, but Counterbalance replaces Crowd Control. We'll start with the low rate of fire, high impact pulse rifles, and I think the best or most reliable bonuses here for PvE are Feeding Frenzy or Head Seeker, and I guess Glass Half Full is one of the least worst options in the second bonus slot, but Secret Round is a very interesting bonus which we will talk about. For PvP, Feeding Frenzy is still pretty reliable, along with Counterbalance if you really want to go overboard on the stability, not that you really have much of a choice. For high rate of fire pulse rifles for PvE, Feeding Frenzy once again works, along with Secret Round as an interesting option. The second slot you should probably look at Glass Half Full again because high rate of fire, low impact pulse rifles need any sort of help they can get in the damage department. For PvP, Full Auto works really well on the high rate of fire weapons, but Feeding Frenzy will work also, and Counterbalance to counter the high rate of fire. Feeding Frenzy is just a very good bonus overall to have. It's an easy to proc bonus with a good effect. The faster you can get back to shooting, the better. It increases your uptime. Great. Head Seeker works in a very specific way and for a very limited time while active. It works basically on a per burst basis. Anytime you get a body shot in a single burst, if any other shots are headshots within the same burst after the body shot, they will do more damage. It's technically a damage increase, and in PvE it's a lot easier to have that happen versus PvP, but I personally don't have as much experience with the bonus as I would like. All that being said, it is a damage increase, and damage is always nice. Secret Round is another bonus that I don't have a lot of experience with, but El Giganto on Reddit has done a bunch of research into this bonus. The post is linked in the description if you want to read a little more into it. The way the bonus is worded right now makes it sound kinda bad. You fire a 4th shot if you miss a shot in your burst. Typically, if your aim is off, that bonus shot is probably gonna miss. However, what was discovered was that if you have Secret Round, When hitting an enemy with a full burst, it'll actually replenish your magazine with one bullet, acting as if you only fired 2 shots, which can be a big ammo saver and I think makes the bonus somewhat viable. The reason I give glass half full to the high impact pulse rifles and not Counterbalance is because the recoil is not going to be that bad on high impact pulse rifles since their rate of fire is so slow. Compare that to high rate of fire pulse rifles, you're gonna want the stability on that weapon for PvP, but glass half full would be fine for PvE since you can take a little more time, targets are bigger, etc. However, high rate of fire pulse rifles are not really worth using in PvE right now in general. The second bonus on pulse rifles runs into the same problem as the auto rifles, although the auto rifles at least have the luxury of crowd control. I don't think there's a best option so much as there is a least worst option. Everything that I said for auto rifles and those bonuses pretty much go the same for pulse rifles. As for the second column of upgrades, once again, Field Scout, Perfect Balance, or Fitted Stock are going to work great, and you're pretty much guaranteed one of those 3 bonuses since they all take up the bottom slot in the column. Flared Magwell is also a very viable choice, along with high caliber rounds for PvE, both of those being possible in the middle slot. Anyway guys, those are your auto rifle and pulse rifle weapon, perk, and bonus recommendations. Hopefully that gives a little bit of a clearer insight into whether or not you should consider investing into a weapon that you might get to drop. We'll continue very soon with scout rifles and hand cannons. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.